Okay, so let me show you what I'm seeing. You may not, well, I wouldn't be able to look at it in too much detail unless I had the login credentials. So let me just show you what I'm seeing. So if you go to your website, first thing you want to do is go to incognito mode. So nothing's cached and you're not testing it from a browser where you're logged into WordPress from, because generally, unless you have it configured oddly, it won't take advantage of the performance enhancements if you're using a caching plugin. So let's go to it. One Mississippi. So it loads like it in 1 second, 1.5 seconds. So that's good. That's really good. Under 3 is where you want to get it. Now I wouldn't even say it's a problem because your website loads so fast. Is the core web vitals. These are the metrics that Google uses to determine how fast it thinks your website is. For SEO, for search ranking purposes, etc., etc. So first thing I noticed, well, let me go back here. So these are the three right here. Largest contentful paint, which has to do with things painting on the screen. Content layout shift, which has to do with things shifting around on the screen as the page loads. And total blocking time. So this is basically scripts, blocking scripts. This isn't that big of it. I mean, scripts are always going to block scripts, but if you're in the red, then there's hopefully some scripts that you can defer to later, possibly. I'd have to log in and look. But yeah, your problem isn't the actual like a human going to the website. Your problem is from the algorithmic point of view. Google doesn't think your website is configured well, which is kind of a bummer. But it's not perfect. These are like synthetic metrics. I guess you would call them synthetic metrics. The real test is how fast does it go when a human gets to it, right? And yours goes really fast. So the first thing I noticed.
New message standing by.
Let me pause, turn that off. Is when you go to it, that cookie notice pops up. Google might be, you could speed it up just a hair if you delayed that or put that. I would delay it maybe 5 seconds as possible. That might be configurable in the cookie settings. I don't know. Or I don't like things loading up in the middle of the screen. Sometimes it seems like that could hurt your search engine rankings. Can't prove that for sure, but it seems like it could. I would have it pop up at the bottom here. That's not a big deal because it doesn't load that slow, but it's something that I noticed. So let's go to the core web vitals. So if you click on it, well, let me go. This is a waterfall chart here. So most websites, the average website is about 3 megs and probably about 150 requests. So these are all requests here. Loading, this JavaScript took 0.3 seconds to load. This piece of CSS took 0.85 seconds to load. So you want really short lines. You can see here, this is, minified. So you do have minification set of this CSS, right? Minification isn't as important as it used to be because basically you're just essentially deleting white spaces. But you can see the long lines here, but you can see here, let me zoom back out. Things are loading pretty quick here, but then you got this get refresh fragments. This is a Woocommerce thing, and it's a known issue that can cause sites to load down. And I'm not a Woocommerce expert, but it has to do with if somebody adds something to the cart, it can just put it there dynamically instead of refreshing the page. I think that's what it is. I don't think you need it on this homepage because you don't have any products listed on this homepage. So that's something we would want to disable that from attempting to load on this homepage, right? Because I don't see where you can add to cart anywhere. This is just an intro, a homepage without products listed, just categories and such. So that's that. But as you can see, when I load the page, this is interesting. It loads pretty quick. Let me see. Actually, this word shifted on me last time. Let me see how it pops to the left. Let me see what web page test is seeing. So you can actually go here and click on the core web vitals. So largest contentful paint. This is what's slowing it down. So look, actually, it looks like, yeah, it's highlighting this cookie pop-up. You can see where it's green. That looks like it's things are shifting around. So what I would do is go disable that, and we can see what happens. And I think that actually would take care of the metric. Even though it's really fast when a human goes to it, it looks like Google's algorithm, it's tripping it up. So that's that. Now if we go to, I think it's down here. Okay. Cumulative layout shift. So you can see it thinks it's, as your page is loading, even though I don't see this, it looks like it puts the social media icons up top. Then eventually it puts them down here. So this could be a plugin configuration issue. This could be, I'd like to log in and look at it and kind of see what, if I can figure out why it's doing that. I'd like to disable this plugin altogether, if it's a plugin, and see how it works. So there's things you just got to turn off and on, other things to see if we can figure out what's going on. So you can see that's where things are getting messed up here. It's up top. It's trying to load these social media icons up top, which is very strange. At least I think so. Let me go back and look. Yeah, see, it's loading here in a gray area. And where was I at? Here. Let me check. Let me go check one more thing. Yeah, so it definitely looks like it's trying to load up top somewhere. That's something. I mean, I'd have to dig into it. It's something I would want to see. Yeah, see, it's very strange because I don't see that. So there's a lot of stuff up here that's tripping it up. Very interesting. Moving along. Total blocking time. So you have, these scripts are doing a little blocking. There's not really much you can do about jQuery usually, but you have this compliance. Actually, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't know what compliance was. So I Googled it. Oh, that's right. That's that cookie plugin. So that's something I'd want to try to tweak or disable and see what happens. And it doesn't mean we can't put it back on, but perhaps maybe try another plugin. Perhaps we can configure it to delay 5 seconds, something like that. So that's what I'm seeing. I got a few more notes here. Oh, you're loading a lot of WooCommerce stuff, interestingly enough. If you look at the waterfall chart. Let me go back up. At least I thought you were. WooCommerce. Yeah, see this stuff? I don't think you need add to cart. You don't need that. I don't think. I need to research it. Because I have a small e-commerce store and I use WooCommerce. I'm not loading any of that stuff. So I'd like to dig into that, see what's going on there. So went over the fragments. I don't know if you have caching enabled. I'd like to check it out. I have an agency license to WP Rocket, which is by far and away the best performance plugin, in my opinion. So that's something I could give you for free if you want me to work on this and see if I can figure it out. Of course, you won't pay anything unless I can, get it figured out. And I will give you that plugin for free for life until I stop doing this. And it's awesome. There's a ton of stuff you can do. Another thing we could do is get you on Cloudflare. So Cloudflare is a content delivery network. They have a free solution that we could try out. It basically just, puts the things that are loading on the web page, so these assets, on edge servers, so servers all across the world. So if somebody's trying to access your website from New York, it's going to load this stuff from a New York server as opposed to going all the way to your server in the Netherlands, assuming your website's hosted in the Netherlands. Another thing you might want to do is watch my video here. Just Google for this, or I guess I could put it in the email. Core Web Vitals, why you shouldn't obsess over the scores. Don't obsess over, especially with Google PageSpeed Insights. A lot of people say, well, I got 32 on mobile and 63 on desktop. Don't obsess over that. A lot of people do because they just aren't, they're not in the performance field and they think those matter. They actually don't matter at all. What matters is actual loading time and then the specific Core Web Vitals metrics. So I hope this helps. Write me back and I'd like to look around if you want, and we will see what's going on. See ya.